on the project.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh,
Sorry.
thanks, Claudia.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem. Around open XDR architecture. So I'll give people a brief about what that is at a high level. Again, we don't have the proposal fully in hand because it's still kind of in draft mode, and we're helping them, let's say, nuance it because the English isn't their first language. So we're helping them out with that. Hopefully we'll have that ready for the PGB consumption very soon. And the idea would be to send it out via email to get people to be able to think about it in advance of the February meeting. So those are the two agenda topics that I wanted to discuss. Does anyone else here on the call have anything else they want to add to the agenda before we get started? Is that a no? I'll take that as a no. The silence is a no, not right now. So the first topic is the ballot on the cybersecurity automation workshop coming in as an OASIS open project. And I'm not sure, Claudia, if you wanted to share, you know, the ballot's being open soon. But I know we're waiting on a couple of paperwork items to just filter through. But the goal is that we were hoping to have the ballot open before this call so we could discuss in the call. But I don't think we've actually done that yet, right, Claudia?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we'll manage because my colleague, yeah, it's all very last minute. So it will be open by at least, so the latest will be tomorrow. I'm not sure if I managed by the end of the call because we need to get Mark relisted on the roster. Mark has changed jobs, and that's the hold up right now.
Right.
But we have everything.
I was just wondering if
it's just a technicality, basically.
I was just wondering if we could share with the folks here the text of the ballot, just so we can kind of, you know, people can get know what's going to come in their inbox.
To see what are they requesting exactly?
Hang on, I'm just, where is my draft? So I mean, Duncan might be able to say a couple of words about the actual proposal, and then let me find the draft ballot.
Sure. As you'll recall, we discussed it 2 meetings ago, and at last meeting, we put out some text to basically, I put it out on GitHub and circulated it and basically said, hey, anybody wants to comment either via email or issues. And nobody commented. So that's why we decided at the last monthly meeting to try and put it out a week ahead of this meeting without really thinking about when a week ahead of this meeting was, because it was during New Year. So obviously that was not a smart planning thing on our part. So we sort of all noticed it when we came back from 2 years. But anyway, the cybersecurity automation workshop is something I've been running for a number of years now. It sort of started out from some OpenC2 work that morphed into combining with some other technical committee works being done by some other technical committees and sort of grew into a wider cybersecurity automation thing. It has had OASIS association before, but it hasn't actually been an OASIS project. It's been sort of a collection of a bunch of people from a bunch of OASIS projects and non-OASIS projects. And so the attempt is to try and make it a little more formal and to give it some governance and structure, which, and then the decision was, well, so where would it fit? We debated that for 6 months and decided that this, that OCA would be a good place for it. And that's when we started talking about it back in the fall. The actual proposed charter is up on GitHub in a link that went out an email before, but
sorry, Duncan, I just posted it here in the chat as well.
Okay, good. Yeah. And we did discuss, just to remind people, we did discuss whether it should be a working group or a sub-project. And we decided on sub-project because it will have repos and it will have code associated with it, or at least the previous one. The previous not under OASIS ones did. So the assumption under OASIS it would be also. And so And yeah, again, there's a charter, there's an abstract, which has an abstract, which says pretty much what I just said, got some purpose and scope stuff in it, organizational benefits, for relationships to other projects, because it's related to so many other projects. I did those as FAQs, and there's a link off that. So again, we've discussed it a fair amount. I think everybody's in on it. It's just we have to actually like make a ballot and vote and do all that.
Is there any financials other than just using normal OCA resources?
Yeah, there has
systems?
not historically been. There is some of the TCs like Google funded some of the work associated with, as long as we sort of did the stuff on Google Cloud Platform. So they had donated some resources that we used. I mean, I fork over the yearly cost for the current website, but we'll move it on to OCA stuff.
But there's no like,
and we haven't had any attendance fees or anything like that. It's always
there's
been
no
open.
financial commitment from OCA.
No, in either
Specifically.
direction, either
Okay.
to spend money on it or to make money off it. I mean,
Right.
it conceivably could be done as, you got to pay to register or something, but we haven't
Right.
historically done that.
So it's a, sort of it's a working group that happens to be an event.
Right. And it's been fairly successful. I mean, we've gotten, kicked off some of the work, for example, between the Kestrel and OCA crowd that's actually, evolved some since then. So, and 2 or 3 ago, it kicked off some work between the SBOM crowd and the OpenC2 crowd. It's probably been other ones too. It's just I'm OpenC2 centric, so I remember those better.
Yeah, it also raises visibility, I think, of some of the work that's going on with, members of certain communities, especially, the U.S. federal government who's, been attending. So I think it's great work. I think it's a good opportunity. So I think part of your question, Matthew, might be kind of leaning towards why is this a project? And I think the answer, there's a couple of different projects now that have moved from working groups to projects, and it's because of the IP issues around if you want to create any IP, then you have to be a project. And I think this is something that, frankly, I might, Duncan, we might want to take up at the Oasis Board Process Committee around naming of some of these things, because it is kind of weird how we force people down this path of saying it's a project, even if it's not creating code, just because of IP, right?
Yeah,
and
although to be fair, this one has traditionally
it
created
is,
code. So it's a good point in general, but just to note, there
yeah.
has been code created. In fact, the full name of it used to be /hackathon, and we actually used to create code at it. So, and there is code that people do. If you look at like the last one, there is code there. And again, sometimes it gets into the definition of code, but for inner working stuff, you do have to, do at least, it's more than documentation. Sometimes it's actual real code, but usually it's just configuration stuff. But it is, real GitHub repo and real, hey, go call this routine to talk to this other routine. So it's not really the creating of the initial code. It's the getting the initial, 2 different bodies of code to talk to each other. There's glue stuff that people create. So we don't want to preclude doing that.
Yeah. It's just, I find that the name is the point, right? It's like the fact that the Oasis Open project rules classify things as project all the time, and maybe it should be a different name for the vehicle to reduce the confusion. But anyway,
I agree
Matthew,
with that.
don't worry about the name. Yeah, don't worry about the name, or Matthew. It's more just the IP, right?
Yeah,
so
I
it
was
has
more
to be
just
a project, even though it's primarily an event.
I was just inquiring if there was a budget hit, basically.
Nope.
The answer is no, so that's fine.
No, back when Borderless Cyber, we did one of them 2 years ago, I guess now, in conjunction with Oasis Borderless Cyber, and we looked at the time potentially, making it a pay-for event and stuff like that, and decided that no, it's mainly a awareness and adoption activity, is really to get us out there and get seen, as well as it's real life, the different projects work together. So So we decided to just keep it with the sort of, we make do however we make do. Usually it's associated with some other event and we just sort of latch on and, get a room and do it. Went back when it was physical and lately they've been virtual. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we, if when we throw the next version of this, if there are any costs to be borne, we would have to work with the Oasis team and figure out what that means.
Yeah.
Traditionally there hasn't been any. So
yeah, usually like the last one, AT&T hosted at their center in Washington. I think somebody else forked over for lunch or something like that, so we didn't have to go out for lunch. But it was all donation driven and didn't cost anything. And that was assumption how we.
And I do hope, I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a delay, Duncan. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Back to you.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think because it, assuming the ballot passes, because it is moving in as an actual OCA project, Oasis will be able to get more involved, and we would be able to great expertise of running events. That's part of the benefit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So
Claudia, did you find the actual
sure
motion?
Sorry.
Did you find the actual motion that'll eventually go out?
Yeah. So hang on. I can just copy paste it here. So, but I haven't fixed the dates yet because I don't know. I'll say it's tomorrow. Hang on. What's tomorrow? The 6th of January.
While you're doing this, does this need a majority of those voting or what?
Yeah. So we need
Mhm.
a full majority vote
Of
on
the
the ballot.
standing PGB?
Yes.
Yeah, so not just of those voting. If you abstain, it's a no.
Yeah, and I think I have to go over the list again. So I've not finalized this because, paperwork and stuff. So I think we have 9 members. So it will basically be, hang on, let me just post this here. Hang on. Does this make sense? So this is, I have to go over the list of people who are eligible to vote again. So I don't want to post that here because that will be in the final ballot.
This meeting is being recorded.
There you go. So it will look like this basically, and then there will be a list of and the final number of eligible voters and the number of votes we need for this to pass. Oh, below, nicht below. Sorry. There, see, I have to go over this again. Yeah.
And one of the reasons for trying to get it out prior to this meeting is because usually the message is telling everyone to vote, get lost in everyone's spam boxes. So just sort of at the meetings, we sort of remind everyone, hey, by the way, go vote. And vote no if you want. Just vote one way or the other. So.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled for this ballot. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to send it out tomorrow, and we'll send out reminders as well. So, but you are aware
you need to get to 5.
Yeah, you are aware that something is coming your way.
Which means we could, if we would have been out now, we could all just made everyone go do it now and had enough.
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe we'd still be one short, maybe, but at least we'd get partway there. But again, we'll just bug people.
Yeah.
Anyway, probably beaten this one enough to death.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Does anyone else have any final comments? No, we can just move to the next item. Okay. So the next item is just I wanted to give people an So, well, before I go, is there any other topics that folks wanted to cover today besides these two? And Adam, welcome back. I know you missed a couple of meetings there. Wanted to call out. Great to have you back.
Just a couple. Thank you. I'm sorry I've been so absent. I'm hoping that changes in the new year.
Hey, you're batting 1,000 for 2023.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
There we go. Right. Brand new year.
Okay, so if there's no other topics, just something I thought of. So Claudia, so I know we recorded this call, but I realized after that we probably should not have had that huge discussion on this pending project and company name and stuff while it was all being recorded.
Right.
Can we cut that out? Can we cut that out of the recording, please?
We went into executive session.
Know how to do that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would have to look into this.
Maybe the recording has to have an accident.
So
Yeah.
the alternative is just to not have this meeting.
yeah, I'll
Exactly.
I'll do it. I'll take the action, Claudia. I know how to do it.
All right. Okay,
so
cool.
I can do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let the meeting minutes show we all agreed we were in executive session.
Correct.
Talk secretly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other final? Yeah, we really should have went into executive session. That was my bad.
But can't the whole recording just
All right.
vaporize if you want?
If we don't publish it, it never exists.
Well,
And Ken,
It's up
cut
to
it
you.
out.
You're the chairman. You decide.
yeah. Okay. If there's no other topics, we can adjourn a bit early, and yeah, looking forward to hopefully a productive 2023. All right.
Thanks,
Talk to you soon.
everyone.
Cheers.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everybody.